This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain an action, science fiction, and thriller film called They Live. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. A homeless man named Nada arrives in Los Angeles in the hopes of finding a job and seeking a better life. Nada walks across the town and stumbles upon a building that offers job opportunities, but he fails at getting one. He wanders around and listens to a preacher for a few seconds but leaves once he notices cops approaching the area. He spends the night in the cold, helpless of his situation, but he has no choice but to settle. The following day, Nada finds work on a construction site and meets Frank, a fellow construction worker who tells him about a shantytown soup kitchen run by Gilbert. For the first time in a while, Nada eats a hearty meal as he gets to know Frank. Compared to Frank, Nada's more laid back and complacent about life. As he goes around the area at night, he finds two men watching the television. A hacker takes over TV stations stating that scientists have found transmissions that enslave the public and keep them in a dreamlike condition. The hacker adds that the only way to stop it is to turn off the signal source. Shortly after, Nada notices weird behavior from the preacher and something suspicious about the church across the street. The following day, the television station is hacked once more and the viewers claim to have headaches as they watch. Nada sneaks into a nearby church and finds Gilbert and the street preacher meeting with a group that includes the hacker. Inside, he discovers scientific equipment while Gilbert expresses concern that the Hoffman lenses they created will be insufficient without the assistance of strong people. The blind preacher discovers Nada, and he flees after a quick conversation with the preacher. Outside, police officers monitor the area with helicopters, and the ones inside the church hurriedly transport their equipment. Nada also monitors the church through his binoculars, and Frank confronts him about it. According to Frank, Nada should not meddle in the things that are not his business if he doesn't want to get in trouble. That night, a massive police force arrives and surrounds the church, forcing the residents to evacuate. The police then attack the shantytown, flattening it with bulldozers, causing complete chaos in the area. The police force also ends up beating the blind preacher to death. Nada, Frank, and the majority of the residents flee as the police continuously hunt them down. Nada saves a younger man and they narrowly escape in an abandoned apartment where other homeless people also take refuge. The following day, Nada and other residents scavenge what is left from the ruined shantytown. Once again, the church catches his attention, so he pays a visit despite its horrors from the night before. In an alleyway, he pulls one of the boxes from the concealed compartment and opens it. He expects to find something expensive, but instead finds it full of cheap-looking sunglasses, the same type worn by the church employees when the helicopter flew over. He keeps one pair and tosses the others in the trash without thinking about its value. To his surprise, the sunglasses appear to show a black and white view of the real world. It exposes subliminal messages in the media and advertising posters to reproduce, conform, and consume. At that moment, Nada realizes the effect of capitalism on the world. Everyone is controlled and dictated by the media to follow it and fit into society. As he grabs a magazine, Nada stumbles upon a man with a skull-like face despite looking human without the glasses. It reveals that some citizens of the city appear to be aliens with mottled skins and bulging eyes. Now that he is exposed to the truth, he wanders more into the city, where he encounters more humanoid creatures pretending to be human. Shortly after, Nada enters a grocery store filled with aliens. An alien pretending to be an elderly lady talks to Nada, and he talks back rudely. He says that the lady looks ugly as he knows that she is an alien. Through a wristwatch, the lady informs other aliens that Nada can see, causing the other aliens to approach him. Nada hurriedly runs into the street where a police officer tackles him. The two policemen question Nada's sunglasses, but he refuses to answer. Nada knows they're going to kill him, so he flees, killing both cops in the process. He runs off with a police shotgun to hunt down other aliens in the city. He accidentally stumbles into a bank full of humanoids while evading the cops. Nada opens fire on all of the aliens that he encounters. One of the humanoids notices him, and after twisting a dial on his wristwatch, he vanishes. Nada exits through the bank's back door and shoots at a flying monitoring device in the sky. He's about to shoot a police officer in his way, but he lets him go after realizing that the man is truly human. To safely escape, Nada takes a woman named Holly captive and instructs her to drive him out of the city center. Holly brings Nada to her home in Hollywood Hills, and her neighbors are surprised that she brought a strange man home. Inside, Nada removes his glasses and rests for a while after such an eventful day. He apologizes to Holly for the sudden inconvenience and fear he's brought upon her. Nada tries to persuade Holly of what is going on, but she remains suspicious. After learning that Holly works at a local television station, Nada turns his back to turn the television on, allowing Holly to push him out of the window. He plummets down the slope under her home, causing minor injuries. He does, however, leave his sunglasses behind for her. Holly phones the cops to alarm them about Nada's questionable motives. Nada spends the night outside and returns to the construction site at daybreak to meet with Frank. However, Frank is unhappy to see him and tells Nada that he should leave because he is becoming a threat to their safety. That morning, Nada returns to the dump site where he desperately looks for the glasses but to no avail. He notices the garbage truck and enters the vehicle to scour among the trash and look for the box of sunglasses. Once he gets a hold of them, Nada smiles and escapes the vehicle just in time. Later, Frank appears with Nada's earnings from the construction project that he hadn't collected. Nada tries to encourage Frank to put on the sunglasses after confirming that he is human, but Frank refuses, stating that he doesn't want to get involved. He has a family back in Detroit that he wants to keep out of danger as well. However, Nada engages in a long, violent hand-to-hand combat with Frank, attempting to force him to wear the sunglasses. Their fight lasts for minutes and even breaks some of the parked cars in the area. After the fight renders them too weak to defend themselves any longer, Nada finally puts the glasses on Frank, and to the latter's surprise, he sees two alien creatures walking past the alley and realizes that Nada was telling the truth. Frank is immobilized after his discovery, but Nada assures him that there is a way to stop them. Both bloodied and injured, they stay at a hotel for some time, allowing Nada to hide from the police. They come up with a plan to get into contact with the group who invented the glasses. Because of the mess that they're in, Frank and Nada take the time to get to know one another and find comfort in each other's company. They talk about their family, upbringing, and life in general. The following day, they meet with Gilbert, who instructs them about their new mission. Nada and Frank enter a hideout for people who have the same ideals as them. Inside, a woman named Ingenue gives them contact lenses to replace their glasses to track the aliens. They hear that a meeting will be held later that evening at a nearby community center. Against the backdrop, the community group is listening to a seminar that introduces radical views. Humanoid aliens, for example, are blamed for rising carbon dioxide and methane emissions, claiming that they are changing our atmosphere into their atmosphere and rapidly depleting the planet's resources. They learn at the meeting that the aliens' primary form of control is a television transmission, which explains why ordinary people are unable to recognize the aliens for what they are. The Hoffman lens was invented by an anonymous yet excellent inventor who depicts the world as it is. The hypnotic signal of the aliens is disrupted by the sunglasses, which are also available as contact lenses. Gilbert brings Nada and Frank to a table with numerous weapons for combat with the aliens. The group becomes more passionate about hunting and chasing aliens, but Gilbert warns them to be more vigilant. Holly appears and joins the group, stating that she has come to believe Nada. She provides the insurgents with information regarding a likely place where the aliens are transmitting the subliminal messages. Not long after, Holly reconciles with Nada and apologizes for doubting him at the beginning. A raid ensues in the middle of their conversation, and the police force shoots mercilessly at the underground group members. Some of the members escape, but the police indiscriminately shoot at anyone in sight. Nada and Frank make their way out of the building through an alley, while engaging in a shootout with the police. While trying to activate an alien wristwatch, they accidentally open a portal and use it to escape the gunfire. They arrive in a network of underground tubes beneath the city that connect hidden areas. It includes a high-tech space travel portal that they utilize to their advantage. They discover the aliens are hosting a party for their human partners in the tunnels. The speaker at the podium lets everyone know about the raid on the Resistance's headquarters that just happened. Nada and Frank examine the room with the help of their contact lenses and see several aliens attending the party. Frank and Nada meet one of the homeless drifters, one of the many human accomplices working with the aliens, whom they met before in the workers' shantytown. The drifter takes him on a tour of the underground facility, believing they have been recruited the same way he has. The drifter leads both of them to the Cable 54 studio, where the alien signal originates. Nada and Frank draw their pistols and kill all of the alien guards, attempting to disable the invaders' concealed signal. The drifter flees by teleporting and raising the alarm after telling the two that their mission will not be successful. In the studio halls and offices, Nada and Frank engage in a gunfight with the guards. Frank and Nada find Holly, who works at the channel, and she guides them up to the top of the building where the satellite is broadcasting. Nada and Frank climb to the roof of the building, armed with assault guns left by the dead guards, to turn off the signal and alert the rest of the planet to the aliens' presence. The duo, however, is well aware that they will not live even if they are successful in turning the signal off, and the mission may cost them their lives. As they near the roof of the building, Holly removes the gun from her bag, holds it against Frank, and kills him. Nada makes it to a staircase and sprints up to the roof, anticipating Holly and Frank to be right after him. To his surprise, Holly holds him at gunpoint and realizes that Holly is yet another human accomplice of the aliens. Knowing that he would die no matter what he does, Nada kills Holly with a secret pistol in his sleeve. He returns his focus to the broadcasting antenna, unsure of what he should do next. Nada is shot and killed by an alien police squad in a hovering helicopter, but he fires his little handgun one last time and damages the broadcasting antenna. People in the city are now unable to receive the signal because Nada has destroyed it. With this, the rest of the country is taken aback when aliens appear among them, seeing them on the television, conversing with them, and so on. Just like that, Nada has saved humanity by unveiling the truth behind the aliens' human-like features.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.